and stood in the moonlight in front of the two brothers. Brother Swift twisted a lock of greasy hair around a skinny finger. "You'll do," he said. "You'll do nicely." Brother Swan looked the shadows up and down. Their shapes shifted and warped in the dim light of the moon. "Be still, my dears," he said. "Be easy. We've brought you back to the world that didn't want you, the world that tormented and killed you." One of the witches tried to speak, but her voice was nothing more than the sound of the night breeze in the long grass. "Be calm," said Brother Swift. "Your strength will come back. And when it does, it will be your turn to get revenge, to make them suffer." "We have a job for you," Brother Swan told the shadows. He smiled. "Now listen carefully, my dears, while I tell you all about the Shadowsmith." The Girl at the Window. Kirby lay on his bed and stared at the spider on the ceiling. "It's watching me," he thought, as the spider twitched its legs. "It's actually watching me." The spider was about the size of a 50-pence piece. It was blacker than black, the colour of a nightmare. And it had been following him. He knew it sounded mad, but for the last week it seemed like the spider was everywhere he went. Even when he couldn't see it, he could sense it. And when he thought about the spider, inside his head felt like the air just before a rainstorm, heavy and dull and full. He was beginning to wonder if it was really there at all. Maybe it was a trick of the mind, his brain's way of distracting him from real life, from the awful thing that was happening to his family. 2 weeks had passed since the storm. When you lived by the sea, you got used to storms. They were a part of life, as normal as shopping or homework, or the threat of gull droppings on your ice cream. But this one had been different. Nobody had predicted that such a violent storm would strike at the start of summer. Kirby could still hear the roar of the wind through the winding streets of Craighaven, still see the rain smashing against his classroom window. He could hear his footsteps echo in the empty school corridors and see the frightened look in his dad's eyes as he waited for Kirby in the office. 2 weeks. The summer holidays had begun since then. His classmates were out playing in the streets or heading off on holiday with their families, full of nervous excitement at the thought of starting high school at the end of the summer. Repair work had begun on the storm-damaged buildings. The world was still turning. Life was going on. But not for Kirby or his dad. For them, the world would not turn again until the moment Mum woke up. The dread of never seeing her smile again, never hearing her voice or feeling one of her hugs had consumed Kirby, filled him up until there was room for nothing else. Until the spider had arrived. Clack. Kirby's gaze left the spider, flicked to the window. Clack. He sat up just as another stone, clack, bounced off the window pane. There was a girl in a yellow plastic raincoat down on the pavement. When she spotted him peering out at her, she smiled and waved, and motioned for him to open the window. Kirby slid the rickety bottom half of the window upward, letting the fresh sea air into his room. The summer nights were stretching, but it was late enough that the vast sky was turning a dark, rich blue, and the reflection of the moon was molten silver on the waves. Kirby poked his head out into the night. "Who are you?" he said. Then, trying to sound stern like his dad, he added, "What you playing at?" "I'm Amelia," said the girl in the raincoat. "Amelia Pigeon. And I'm not playing at all." Amelia Pigeon half closed her eyes. "Are you brave?" Kirby frowned. Am I brave? What a weird question. Funny, though, he'd been asking himself the same thing a lot lately. "Dunno," he said. "Hope so." Amelia Pigeon smiled up at him, all front teeth and freckles. She looked about 12, the same age as Kirby. "That's a good answer. Usually I find it's the ones who strut around with their chests puffed out that aren't brave at all. Not when it matters." She tilted her head to one side. "You've seen the spiders, haven't you?" Kirby's breath caught in his throat.